Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Munciana Courtside, Show 8, Season 6. Michael Ingenfelter, Randy Gardner. Great week of volleyball coming our way. Let's get it kicked off, big fella.
Last week on Monday night, we had Ron Colley sweep Heritage Christian.
Ron Colley's started to pick people off late in the season. They could be a dangerous little group come tourney time.
Yep. Tuesday night, we had Cathedral and Carmel. Earlier, we would have probably picked Carmel in that game. Cathedral beat them before.
Easy, but Cathedral's a much improved program. Good little setter is moved in there, and Coach Ording, still going non-married name, is reviving the Irish.
Yep. Lagodi swept Bar Reeve on that game. I think it was probably about 20 on the all preset. So,
Lagodi's got to be. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yep.
We talked about them and Pioneer.
Yep. Then we had Wednesday night. We had Ron Colley take down Buff. We thought that was going to be a good game in 4.
Well, Buff is a really young team,
Yep.
and they're kind of retooling things there. And once again, Ron Colley. They've not even been on the radar all year long, and all of a sudden they're starting to pull off some things. It reminds me of that run that Chittard had a couple of years ago, where they were really never on the radar. They were 13-14 coming into the tournament, and then went on to win the state championship. That Ron Colley team's winning at the right time.
Yep. Last Thursday night, we had Newcastle swept Burris.
Well, Burris, that was a barometer match just to find out where they stood, and they don't stand as tall as Newcastle. But Newcastle's, they're really, really good. Burris starting to really kind of find their stride and find out where they're at. That Newcastle team's going to beat a lot of people battling and haven't lost a set in a long time. So that's not a bad loss for Burris. It's just find out who you are loss.
Yep. Delaware County tournament was last week. We talked about it, a.k.a. the Yorktown Invitational. And just as planned, Yorktown sweeps through everybody. They get to the final. They play Wapahani, and they swept through them for their 6th straight Delaware County championship.
The best 2 teams in the county. And I think that both those teams have a chance to win a state championship. So, when you look at it, Wapahani getting swept out, Wapahani's lost twice, both times to Yorktown. Yorktown, we'll find out next Saturday whether they're going to win another state championship. They beat Newcastle. They win a state championship. Newcastle beats them. They win a state championship. Wapahani, the only team they may lose to this year is Yorktown.
Correct.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep, no doubt. Then we talked about earlier this week, Monday night, Leo took on Carroll. I thought it was a pretty good game. Leo won it in 5.
I love Fort Wayne.
Yep.
I love Fort Wayne. I love how those guys are just brawling with each other, and Leo has had a great year.
Yep. Tuesday night, the only reason I wrote this one down, I was a little shocked to see Fishers take a set off them. Yorktown beat Fishers in 4.
Fishers without Cam Hayworth.
Yep.
And to take a set.
I think they switched up their lineup. They moved Brent Roberts to the left side from what I was told. That would definitely help.
I think that Brent Roberts as an L2 would definitely help. Gives them another ball handler.
Yep.
You could throw another ball handler out there. But no, that's really a pretty good match for Fishers.
Yeah. The Battle of the Fort Wayne area, DeWinger took on Concordia last night. That was, a lot of people thought that could be a barn burner, and 3-0 sweep, and DeWinger played well from everything I heard.
DeWinger's hitting stride.
Yep.
Hauser's got them rolling, and they got some players. And they've got legitimate players. DeWinger right now, in my mind, is the best of the Summit City. And Summit City's better than it's been in a long, long time. But, whenever you sweep Concordia, Concordia has been the pride of Fort Wayne for the last 5 to 10 years. So that's a big win. That's a good win.
Yep. And then we also had tonight, we were just talking about it, Wednesday night, Wapahani played Cowan again for the MEC title, and they won in 5, 19-17.
Well, that's why we're here late night. Randy can't go home. His wife got swatted down for the MEC title. I will tell you right now, Wapahani could win their class. Cowan's the favorite in their class. They're probably the favorite for the 1A title. Just as I said, Yorktown and Wapahani in the county, I'm not so sure Wapon and Cowan doesn't have the same effect in the MEC. Both those teams could be state championship winners or contenders. That's a great match.
Yep. McCutcheon took on LCC, swept those guys.
McCutcheon swept a lot of people this year, big fella. They're pretty good.
And then Newcastle played Hagerstown on their senior night, and they walked out with some rooms.
A senior night that I missed. I apologize beyond anything people know. I did want to go to that senior night. We'll come back to why in a minute, but Newcastle is way too much for Hagerstown.
Yep.
Way too much. Brian Dale's group is good. Newcastle's a different level.
Yep. Thursday night, we got Heritage and Dwenger, so it's going to be two of our top 10 teams battling up in that neck of the woods.
Castleman, Hudson, and it should be fun. Dwinger's the better team.
Yep.
Dwinger's a better team. That'll be interesting, though.
Yep. And then Saturday afternoon, I think we got Center Grove at Yorktown.
I love that matchup. I think that's a great matchup. Those two coaches, Dew and Bloom, that's a good tune-up match before sectionals. And, for Yorktown, it's good to have a tune-up match. Newcastle they haven't played a real meaningful match in a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a real deal match. This is a championship caliber match, and I think that gives Yorktown a chance to stretch their legs out, kind of get back into that championship mojo. Keep in mind, after this week, you lose, you're done. Like I said a million times, all you got to do is win your last game. It's just a lot harder than it sounds. That's a good tune-up match.
Yep.
Both those teams are good. MJ Ham was really, really good. I worked with her this weekend, and man, that kid she's special and she's good. And Yorktown is just special.
Yeah.
What they do is really impressive year in and year out. So that should be a great match.
Yeah, no doubt.
Any crazy ass predictions?
I wanted to this week, but I ain't got nothing on that. I mean, Center Grove, Yorktown could be a good match. The only thing I'm going to say is Yorktown's going to sweep them.
I thought you weren't going to make anything. All right, you heard it here first. Yorktown with the sweep. Let's go.
Mermaid pools. Pretty much, we do have one commitment down. I threw down there, but a lot of good little players there. Just kind of throw out there.
These are great young players. They're great. They're guys off the radar. I want everybody to be seen. I wish that during this segment we could have listed every kid in the state because there's so many really good players. But Jewel McCormick at Springs Valley, big kid, 6'3", physical, really a game changer at that level. 440 kills in a year, hitting almost 400. That's real. Still looking for a home.
Yep.
Great player.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why I wrote her down was watching her at the 1A showdown. That was the final. It was, I mean, she was their go-to player, and then it was survive the other 3 rotations till we get big fella back in, and she's
6'3" and 1A. I mean, you're going to cause some damage. 6'3" at any level, you're causing damage. But that kid's good.
Yeah.
Courtney Watkins, I love her. Love her. Going to Iowa, Indiana Wesleyan, who's having an incredible year, 3rd-ranked team in the nation. They're just killing it, and Courtney Watkins will only make them better. I mean, 3rd best team in the country. Watkins will make them better. Almost 400 kills in the year. Has really had to step into a tough role. She's kind of stepped into
Life After Knuckles.
Mackenzie Knuckles' role, and she's had a lot of responsibility. Historically, there was some up and down moments. This year she's been up, and she's really trending in a really, really good direction. That's a great gift for Iowa, and she's a great kid and player.
You're hitting 400. She's hitting 406 right now in the year.
Yeah. Ted Williams numbers. Ted Williams hit 406. That was the last man to hit 400 in Major League Baseball, by the way. The only man to hit 400, though. But we'll go. I digress. Chloe Chacoin, freshman at McCutcheon, almost 400 kills. Every college coach I talked to, and I talked to a few of them, they tell me this is the best kid in the state of Indiana. Right now, the most talented kid in the state of Indiana. Freshman at McCutcheon, and this kid is going to be the real deal before it's all said and done. almost 400 kills, hitting over 400, almost 300 digs.
Killing it.
Freshman.
And she's sharing that with Brown and
Yeah,
Humphreys.
3 other kids
Yeah.
that could absolutely play. That's why I love that McCutcheon team.
Yep.
But she's a great little player.
Yep. All right, number 4.
Kate Sperry. Neat girl. Senior at Frankton. Great kid. Almost 350 kills.
Got a 1,000th kill the other night.
Almost 70 aces on the year. Hitting almost 400. And Frankton's 25-2. I mean, that's not where they usually hang out.
Yep.
I mean, Kate Sperry is the real deal, and she's had a great career. And, she's another kid that needs a home. Hopefully we can find her one.
Yep. Another thing about that Frankton team, like you're just talking about, that's going to be kind of the dark horse of that sectional of Wapahani. They're in that one, so that would be
That's a great section.
Yeah, that'll add a little bang to the buck.
Great section.
All right, number 5.
Logan Smith. Beautiful kid. Almost 400 assists on the year, almost 300 kills on the year, almost 70 aces on the year. Garrett, 24-3
too.
Yeah, 24-3. This kid's a real deal. Great family. I had the pleasure of coaching her sister. This kid's going to be really, really good. She's got the personality to chase great, meaning that she's really low key. Great teammate. I'm really anxious to see what happens. This Garrett team is off the radar too. They
know what sectional they're in, don't you? Angola, Concordia, DeWanger, all those guys.
That may be the best sectional in the state.
Yep. That's why I kind of threw it in there.
Logan Smith, great player, and as a junior, still looking for a home. Sister plays at Maryland. Great genetics, great family. This kid can play.
Yep. All right, talking about courtside's fact or fiction.
I like when you do these.
Fact or fiction is one of the Shaftmaster sisters going to be your Gatorade Player of the Year if Newcastle wins?
It doesn't matter if Newcastle wins or not. I believe Mel Shaftmaster is the Gatorade Player of the Year. Melanie Shaftmaster, tremendous player. Everything Gatorade's looking for. Mel Shaftmaster is the Gatorade Player of the Year. You make these outlandish things every week. You say something crazy. I can tell you right now, Mel Shaftmaster is the Gatorade Player of the Year. That was the senior night I missed tonight, and man, I'm sorry, but make up for it by saying this is a done deal. Mabry Shaftmaster, she's my runner-up. She's my runner-up. It's kind of like the Yorktown Invitational, which used to be the Delaware County tournament. I think the Shaftmasters will rule the Gatorade world for the next couple of years. But Mel Shaftmaster is the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state.
I was looking at Mel and Mabry's kind of stats and everything, and what was amazing was Mel's hitting percentage is over 600 on the year. 600.
No, people can't do it.
That's just.
You can't do what she does.
You know what's amazing too? I was looking right below her, 3 spots, is Layla Smith, who she's setting the ball to, which is at 562.
No.
But and then Mabry, like you talked about, the reason why I had her on that list is she's top 5 in kills. I think she's at like 480 or something ridiculous like that. So I knew those two are always going to be up there towards the top. Fact or fiction?
Good question. Fact. My answer is fact.
Yeah, I kind of got that. You're on a big dog. Fact or fiction? We talk about this, and I think you got to find a way to make it happen. That's why I'm going with fact on it. But fact or fiction for you? Should the state tournament be seeded?
I'm 100% against you.
I'm
going fiction. The one thing that I've always, the class system shook up everybody. I still am a single class guy.
I'd be all right if we went back to that.
No, I'm still a single class guy, and I like when communities are pitted against each other, and they're communities they're locally, they're close, they're contiguous, they're areas where there's rivalries to be committed to. I think seeding would wreck a lot of that. It would create too much travel. It would create too many issues. And, we live in a world where everybody wants to complain. And so once you add seeding to the equation, then you add another layer of complaints. I like the way it's done. I do know that our 1 and 2 are Newcastle, Yorktown, spoiler alert. But I also know that it is what it is. Mm-hmm. At this stage of the game, we shouldn't be worrying about seeding. We should be worried about trying to find ways to win. And, in high school right now, the way to win is this. You don't need to take your team. You don't need, if you're a high school coach, here's what I think. Don't spend your time worried about the extraordinary. Don't. Extraordinary happens 10% of the time. Try this on. I think that you get to the point where you do ordinary really, really well. The teams that will win a state championship are the teams that do ordinary in an extraordinary fashion. And so just do ordinary. So don't worry about reseeding. Don't worry about complaining about 1 versus 2 in the first night of sectionals or the first Saturday of sectionals. Just get back to doing ordinary real good. Pass it, serve it, defend it, and spend all of your time working on that, tying the neat bow, wrap it up, and go. But in regards to that, I'm going fiction. No need to seed. There's too much griping going on in the world as it is. Pelosi's going crazy. Everybody else is hammering away. I say no.
The only reason I said that is, here's the reason why, is all those years in high school watching you lose to Burris in the sectional. Not that it would be any different. Not saying you would beat them in the state finals, but we all knew those were the best 2 teams year in and year out. You guys were seeded 1 and 2 every year, and it just sucked that couldn't be on the big stage.
That was only 3 years, and then 2 years we beat the hell out of them.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. I think it all works out. Burris was the best team. Who cares who's second? I think that if Yorktown beats Newcastle and Yorktown wins it all, then that's cool. Yeah. If you can't beat a team in sectionals, you don't deserve to win state. So who cares if the best 2 teams are there? Who cares about second? If you're second, you're last. Just win the thing and move on. No, I don't think so. I think it just creates too much work.
Yeah.
And we have troubles every week doing a top 10 because you can't compare different teams from different regions. I think that seeding would be havoc. I think it would be a mess. And I don't think there's any way you could ever get it right. And like I said, we live in a society where everybody wants to gripe. Why give people more reason? I say no. Fiction, move on.
GearMunciana.com, season rankings. We'll go ahead and hit the top 10.
Yeah, I still, the honorable mentions. I like the 1A guys. I like Pioneer and Count. I like both those teams. Those 2 teams are going to run into each other in the state tournament. I really believe that.
State.
2A, I like Bar Reeve and Hagerstown. I like those guys, as honorable mention. I like Greensburg and Northwestern. In 3A, I like Plainfield and Castle. In 4A, is guys that just don't get any love.
Yep.
Guys I do love. I love Wapahani.
Number 10.
You beat your wife twice too. But the only team they've lost to is Yorktown. The only team that's really played them close has been Cowan. I think Cowan's probably a 1A contender, if not 1A state champion. Yorktown is a 4A contender, if not 4A state champions. And so you got to give Wapahani a lot of love.
Yep.
24-2, they're rolling.
Yep. All right, number 9.
HSE, staying right where they were at. I know that's not going to make anybody happy. They did beat Center Grove in 3, great win. But there's not a whole lot of movement up above them. It's not that HSE doesn't belong any higher. It's just no one ahead of them is losing right now. And HSE, they'll get their chance to prove themselves come sectionals. They still got to beat a Fishers team that's evidently rejuvenated. And they've got to go through a McCutcheon team that's really good. If I'm HSE, you beat McCutcheon, you get in the top 5. If you don't, well, welcome to 9.
There you go.
I like that HSE team. I like it a lot. I think it's a team that's got a lot to prove. I think it's a team that will make the biggest noise during playoffs.
All right, number 8.
Evansville Memorial, 25-1. You know, you lose once. You know, the only other guys that have only lost once are the guys above them.
Yep.
You know, that's impressive. Impressive year. I like that.
Yeah, no doubt. Number 7.
Castleman's had a great year.
Yeah.
Heritage 25-3. I think they will lose to Dwinger this week. And until then, I'm keeping them in the top 10. But, you know, they haven't lost for weeks, and they've held their slot. But I keep them at 7.
Yep. Number 6.
I really still like Center Grove. HSE beating them in straight sets makes me wonder a little bit, and we dropped them down one spot. You know, HSE is either much better than we give them credit for, or Center Grove's not as good as we give them credit for. I don't know. But I like that Center Grove team. I like their leadership. I like the middle of the court in particular. And I love their setter, one of the best leaders in the state. I keep Center Grove at 6.
Number 5.
Hauser's Army. That's a very, very gifted team. And I think that they're going to come out of Fort Wayne. I really do. You know, we keep talking. The only team to really push Newcastle in the last 2 years on the run to a state championship, Dwinger pushed them both years. Dwinger had them both years, and Dwinger is hungry. You know, hunger has a heck of a lot to do with this time of year. And the coaching and what their coaches are trying to bring to the table has a lot to do with it. You know, I like that Dwinger team at 5.
Yeah. Number 4.
We're not changing anything. These guys just keep winning. McCutcheon's my 4. You know, we talked about Chicoine and talked about some of the other kids in that program. That is a very gifted, maybe the most athletic team left in the top 4. They're really, really good. And HSE, if they can get past Fishers, is going to have to get past McCutcheon to have their dream gate.
Yep.
I like McCutcheon at 4.
Yep. Number 3.
Quiet, man. They get really quiet this time of year, and that's what I love about Terry Perica. Very, very quiet. Just sits back, huddles up, and just works on it. Remember a year ago, Perica was getting back surgery, and it hurt that team a little bit. They were a little bit disheveled.
Sitting on the tall grass.
Yeah, man, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. That team is the most dangerous team left in the tournament. Providence at 3.
Yeah. Number 2.
Yorktown. All they do is win. All they do is win. You know, they're having a horrible year by Yorktown standards. They're 26-1. You know, they've actually lost about 4 or 5 sets. It's just been miserable. And, you know, I know Steph Bloom's got to be banging her head against the wall knowing it. I mean, you know,
It's funny you said that.
That's unbelievable.
Because Ellie Stinson came in today and she was serving by herself in here. Great kid. But it was so funny. I said, what happened last night? She goes, we were horrible. We went 4. She goes, we've struggled. We've lost about 3 or 4 sets.
Yeah, it's a different.
I said, Ellie, 3 or 4 sets? We're not talking about losses. We're sets.
Yeah, Yorktown, that's a first world
She
problem.
goes,
First
yeah,
world
that's
problem.
true, Randy. That's true.
Yeah, they don't live in the same world as everybody else, but Yorktown's my 2.
Unbelievable day.
26-1.
I was just sitting there looking at it, cracking up. Number 1.
Newcastle. You know, Newcastle, since that loss to Assumption, I don't know if they've lost a set. And, you know, all they do is continue to move on. And, you know, they beat a decent Delta team. They beat a Chittard team that's up and coming. They beat Lures. They beat Hagerstown, who's in the hunt for 2A. But they swept everybody this week, and all they've done is sweep people. You know, they've got to got to wear blinders. Don't read the press clippings. Don't watch the news. And just chase great. You know, whoever chases great the longest is the one that wins.
Yep.
And Newcastle's just got to remain in the chase great. It's exclusive and elusive, but there's a reason for that. You got to pay a price, and you got to keep working. But right now, Newcastle's my number 1.
Yep. And then next week we'll talk about sectionals that they came out, and we'll get into talking about the hardest sectionals and all that fun stuff.
Deal. Until then, be good sports fans.